Day 1 of making Ariana Grande's Grammy dress. And yes, it's day 1 because this is huge. The original dress took 200 hours. I don't have that time, so I have a hoop skirt. That stain is from a project gone wrong. I got the skirt and the mannequin from Amazon. We don't need these, so you eat them. Step 1, we have to cover this. We're going to make a skirt using 5 yards of 108-inch fabric. I use this app to calculate how much I need. It gives you your waist, how much fabric you need, and a diagram. I laid it out on the ground, folded it over, and I marked out our skirt. Time to cut and sew. So there's a skirt on the mannequin. Now it's time for the tulle. I'm going to use 12 yards of it for the bottom part of the skirt. I'm using a regular foot with a basting stitch to gather. Now I have to hand gather this to a manageable amount. Okay, pinned on. Time to sew down. Now repeat till you get to the top. Your final layers go all the way to the floor. Come back for part 2. Day 2 of making Ariana Grande's dress. First, we need a pattern. This pattern is free. It's not perfect, but we can modify it. Download and print. Once printed, go ahead and cut. Measure your piece to the mannequin and adjust where you need to. Once you cut your pieces, it's time for fabric. I'm making mine black because I don't want to be sued. You're going to cut each piece 4 times. You should get 2 layers, one for the outside and one for the corset. We'll start with the corset. Stitch together with a 1/2-inch seam. Stitch down the excess to make a boning channel. Time for bones. Try it on the mannequin. It looks good, so on to the next. Repeat for this layer what you did for the corset. And press. Corgi break. Lay 6-inch strips of tulle at an angle. I'm using weights to hold down the folds. She's all pinned down, so it's time to sew. Stitch the 2 bodices together. Come back for part 3. Day 3 of making Ariana Grande's dress. I'm going to show you how to make that middle ruffle today. Start by cutting 10 yards of tulle. That's 10 yards. I folded the tulle in half, and now it's time to baste. Hand gather it. Look at that fluffy noodle. Fold your noodle in half and stitch. Now you're just going to repeat until you feel like dying. 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards. God, I regret this. Corgi break! The final ruffle! Cut 1 more layer of tulle to attach the ruffle to. Oh my. Gather the final piece. And there you have it. Come back for part 4. Recreating Ariana Grande's dress in black. First, you're going to need a waistband. I drafted mine myself. It'll look like this when it's cut. Get your tulle. I'm using 6-inch tulle. Take your tulle and start to baste. Gather it down, stitch down, and then repeat until done. The next step is to give up hand gathering and switch to your gathering foot. Corgi break! Stitch your tulle to the waistband. Attach the ruffle, and then you're done. I'll stitch her together in part 5, and then she'll be ready to wear. Final part of making Ariana Grande's dress. First, take her off the mannequin. Boop! Next, you're going to want to sew down the 2 additional layers of tulle you added because you didn't think it was big enough. Next, we're putting the grommets in. Mark 6 holes on each side. Cut your holes open. Push your grommet through, add your back, and hammer. Grommets are in, time to sew it to the dress. Grab some lacing, and now it's time. Give her a trim. And here's your cost breakdown. I'll post the full shoot Thursday. this skirt and we're going to use this pattern right here to make number C. So we're going to use these pieces 1 through 4, and on the instructions it will show us how to lay it out. So I cut these pieces out to a size 8, which is my mannequin size. Then I laid them out to cut onto the fabric. My scissors kept getting stuck in the ruffles, so it took a while, but I got there. Then I took the scraps and we were ready to sew. So I brought it over to my sewing machine and I stitched down and I backstitched the edges so that they wouldn't come up. I made sure the ruffles would line up so everything looked really nice. Then I stitched the back and I then yeeted it onto a mannequin, realized it didn't fit, so I had to add some pleats to the side. Then I stitched those down and it looked great, so it was waistband time. I found these old scraps and I made the waistband out of them. I interfaced it so it would stand up straight. I sewed that down, then I sewed all of that down to the skirt, and it looked great, but it needed some shorts, and that's it. Bye. I'm going to show you guys how to turn this thrifted prom dress into something new, and then I'm going to give it away. First things first, we're going to yeet that right out. Yeet. Next, we'll take her from 2003 to 2013 by pulling this out. We're going to put a slit right here. Repeat for the lining. Quickie break. Now stitch the front to the lining. Better. And press. Oh, she cute. Now we're going to peel back this lace. Time to pull the lace back on the bodice. Time to stitch the top to the bottom. And there she is. Find out how you can win her below.